There we go. So what we're doing right now is we're talking about what we're calling Reading Jigsaw 1 in the Sunflower. For last night, you all read, or for today's class, rather. Could somebody get the lights for me? I'm getting the glare on a screen I'm using over here. Thanks. For today's class, you read the first respondent to the Sunflower. So years after the Sunflower was made, they compiled these responses to the Sunflower. So in this first one, what did we find out about the author and how did we find it out? So the author's name was Sven Alkalan. Let me grab a...
Reminds me of the elephant, like a baby elephant.
Sven, A-L... What was it? A-L-A-K...
A-L-K...
L-A-J. So, and what did we learn about Sven?
Oh, from my research or from
Sure.
the reading of the book? Okay, well, from the reading of the book, we learned that he lives in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and his country and the Croatians were tortured by, I think, like, not tortured, but like genocide was committed against them by the Serbians.
Right.
For the past 4 years, and they had to go into hiding in I think when she was silent, sometimes he's Sarajevo or something.
Sarajevo, yeah.
Sarajevo, yeah. And then from the research, I learned that he's currently Minister of Foreign Affairs, and for 10 years he was ambassador to the U.S.
So we've got this guy who obviously has some experience with a type of genocide that's fairly current, and he's writing a response to the Sunflower. Now, at today's journal prompt, I ask you about authority. What authority does Sven Alkalag have to deliver a opinion on this topic? Daniel.
Well, according to him, he said only those who actually suffered genocide could have an opinion. Yeah. I said that not Jacob, by the way. Didn't want you, Jacob.
So, if he's Jewish, what's he feel about, like, does he feel that people need to have the direct experience? Or, like, if someone in my family had suffered this, would they have? Did you get a sense as to his opinion on that? Like how direct or how immediate that experience needs to be? Netta, I don't think we need to be doing what we're doing right now, thanks. By we, I mean you. We need to be doing what I'm doing right now, to be clear. So from his own personal experience, that is his claim to authority. That is why he's weighing in about this, and that is why we've got an opinion that's valued enough that it gets published in this book. Daniel.
So, like, what is, like, I don't...
Which page is this on?
202, or 102, 102. Yeah. And, like, there's this particular paragraph where he emphasizes the point.
This Bosnian generation.
Yeah. Do you want to read that?
Go ahead.
Oh, sure. This Bosnian generation, as well as the generation that lived through the Holocaust, are among the only ones who have the right to give an answer to the question of forgiveness. Indeed, to paraphrase a colleague of Simon's, nobody who hasn't bodily gone through what we went through will ever be able to understand fully.
So that element of bodily experience ends up being pretty important for Sven as he's talking about who can create, who can pass judgment on this and who can decide what's appropriate. Okay. So for the research aspect of this, I want to make sure you are aware of one of the resources you have available to you. And it is at the end of your book. If you turn to the back section in the Sunflower, there is a section called Contributors. So,
Doesn't give that much information.
well, but it does, like it gives you this paragraph. So Sven Alkalaj is an ambassador of the Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina to the United States. He was the first to serve in this position. He was formerly a prominent businessman with Energo Invest Sarajevo, the largest company in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Born in 1948, he's a descendant of a well-known Jewish family in Sarajevo, which traces his ancestry to Spain's golden age of Sephardic Jewry. So this contributor note really pays attention to Sven's heritage, whereas his actual position, he talks a lot about his experience. Jacob, you had a question.
Well, I'm just trying to see, when was this edition published? Like, when were the
1990 something, I think.
comment, like when the comment?
Yeah.
Because like right now, I know that he's the ambassador to Belgium.
Right.
Jewry, can you use that instead of Judaism?
Well, it's
Jewry is very important to me.
no. In this case, you refer like of Spain's golden age of Sephardic Jewry. It's like your Judaism is a personal value, right? And Jewry is referring to a group of Jewish people.
So there's a Jewry of Jews over there, like a murder of crows.
That's not quite it, but we can focus more on that later. Well, but here it's like, traces its ancestry to Spain's Sephardic age, or golden age of Sephardic Jewry. So it's this age of Jewry, meaning there were, it's characterized by Jews and Jewishness, specifically Sephardic Jews and Jewishness. Anyway, you've got this piece at the back of your text, and I'm going to be asking you to work with that today. We're going to be looking at the opinions that are presented at the back end of this text in a number of different ways. Yes? So, we're going to be looking at the opinions expressed in the back of this text in a number of different ways. Today we're going to look at 4 of them, these 4 here, and we're going to be looking at these questions. I'm going to ask you to make a poster, and on that poster I'm going to ask you to do a couple things. I want you to express who the author of this opinion is. In your group, you're going to come to a decision as to why they are an authority. You might start from the contributor note. You might do some research online. You want to come up with, why is this person an authority? Why do they have the privilege of speaking to us in this book on this subject, right? What is their opinion? You'll need to read to get that. Most of these are 3-4 pages long. And then illustrate it somehow. Provide some sort of visual element that's appropriate to the discussion they're having.
Like for who the author is, like considering the fact that the text is so small, is it okay if we like generally have the same sentences but in a different structure?
You might have the same ideas, but you should, you should be coming up with your own sentences, and you should be using this as a jumping off point. But as everyone said, the bio note on our first author is significantly different now than it was then, right? All of this is still true, but more has been added to it. So make sure that your information is current. So you'll probably be working from more than one source, but this is a great spot to start. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign you to a group here in 1 second. Okay. So this is a 30th anniversary edition, right? Or 20th anniversary?
John Omri died in 1978. So.
But this was an edition that was printed, that doesn't.
Like when do we? No, I mean like when was the original? Not the original Sunflower, but when was the original?
We can talk more about that later. I want to get to the point where we're doing the Jigsaw reading. We'll talk more about the history of the text later. So what I'm going to do is, let me look at what I've got here.
Revised and expanded edition. That's a number.
So you're going to be number 4. You're going to be number 3. You're going to be number 1. You're going to be number 3.
Okay.
You're going to be number 2. You're going to be number 4. You're going to be number 2. You're going to be number 1. You're going to be number 3. You're going to be number 4. You're going to be number 2. You're going to be number 1. You're going to be number 2.
Oh.
You're going to be number 3.
Yeah.
And you're going to be
Again.
number 1.
Again.
Do I need to move you, Harrison?
What?
Harrison, you're in group 5.
Doesn't even exist.
Now,
That's on your own.
now it does.
You did?
Sorry.
Hold on, we'll find a good one for you. So, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be, I'll help you out with group 5 in a minute. You're going to be doing these things, looking at, who the author is, reading through it, coming up with what their opinion is, and then expressing on the poster why are they an authority, what is their opinion as far as what should happen and why, with some sort of illustration. I would like to give you from now until 25 after, and then I want to check in with your group. So you're working in here unless you need other resources. And Harrison, let's come up with something for you. So hold on. And everybody say hi to Omri.
Where's Omri?
He's at home. Say hi to Omri.
Oh, hello, Omri.
There you go.
Hey, Omri. What?
Hmm?